If I win, rock paper scissors, we'll do the musical. If you win, we'll do the movie musical. How's that sound?
Great.
Yeah.
All right. Ready?
Sorry.
Okay.
Rock paper scissors shoot. All right. I guess we're doing that.
Okay.
Hello. And welcome to Darkroom Duo. I am Charlie.
And I'm Leenah. Together we are
Shutter Screen Events. Yeah. And we are doing things today. Yeah, today's podcast is going to be about the new film Mean Girls.
Yeah.
Yep. Which interesting film to say.
It's to say the least.
Yeah. It's interesting because it's obviously it's based off a movie that got turned into a musical, and then this is the movie musical. It's a bit weird when you think about it.
It's the remake of the remake.
Yeah, it's
was it needed?
Debatable.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that deeper in the podcast.
Yeah. But Mean Girls itself, great movie.
Oh yeah, no, the classic film, needless to say, complete classic.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's it's like one of those like opening kind of like chick flicks that you can actually like.
It's like
get you into them.
Yeah, it's like the rite of passage into like the whole chick flick.
Yeah. It's a cult classic, and to be honest, personally, it being very inspirational to the idea of like Heathers as well.
Oh yeah.
In a sense, like, have you seen Heathers?
I haven't seen Heathers.
Oh, we are going to watch Heathers then. Heathers is like also again a cult classic, but definitely before Mean Girls. Same kind of vibe of this like the hierarchy of like three very powerful girls, and then a lower girl joining them and getting like roped into that kind of like girl world kind of thing. It's a very good example kind of thing, but definitely in this film, well, I say film musical. Movie musical is an interesting take. What are your thoughts on musicals?
Musicals are alright. Like I recently, I watched it with you, the original Mean Girls musical, like the Broadway version
with Rennie Rapp.
Rennie Rapp,
yeah,
who's also in the movie
yeah,
musical.
It was surprising to see her in this. It's kind of a redeeming quality in my opinion.
Yeah, she's kind of like almost like the saving grace of the movie musical. Yeah.
Like there are a lot of good bits in this movie musical, but you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of vibe. But
pretty much, yeah. But yeah, no, I actually really liked the Broadway version of the musical. I did not think I would, because I don't know, in my opinion, like I said, Mean Girls is a classic film. I didn't think it needed a musical.
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't know there was a musical version until the movie musical came out, as in it was based on the musical. I was like, oh, okay. But when I watched it, I was taken aback. It was pretty decent.
Yeah.
Like, I'm saying I'm not deep into musicals, but then again, I say this as an avid Bollywood fan. Like, where there's a musical number every 20 minutes of the film, and it always be at the weirdest times, but it would still be good, and I'd still jam out. And truthfully, it is kind of sometimes what keeps me roped into the film. I mean, it helps when it's a 3-hour film, so.
Oh yeah, especially with long films, you kind of need that like break moment of like a sudden
like a break from the narrative almost.
Yeah, it's a nice kind of like a refresher or attention.
Yeah,
your attention gets grabbed back into the film.
Yeah,
thing. I mean, obviously, I can't hide the theatre kid allegations.
Nope.
I'm very
respectfully no.
Yeah, I'm very big into my musicals.
Yeah.
Mean Girls being one of it. I mean, especially Heathers, I know I've already mentioned.
Yeah.
The movie, they did a musical version of that as well, actually.
Oh.
Surprisingly. Again, before Mean Girls, I believe, time-wise. But again, I mean, that's a whole story for another day we could try doing as well, but...
Like, the only version of Heathers I've seen, which is the worst version, it's the Riverdale version I've seen.
Oh, and God, no.
Needless to say, it was painful on its own.
No. Painful. I will educate you. It's really good.
Yeah, I promise. I watched it back when Riverdale was actually good, and when it was actually bearable. I don't still watch it.
Yeah,
please take my word for it. Yeah.
No, God no. But yeah, compared to like that, like very big into musicals, I am.
Okay.
Mean Girls it's kind of up there when it comes down to it. The Broadway version, not the not the movie version. But it's definitely up there. It's got a lot of like campy fun throughout it, kind of thing. So into this movie, however, I guess is a little different. I think because I guess I've listened to the soundtrack before seeing the movie. You did not.
I didn't. I didn't know any of the songs until I watched the movie.
Oh yeah, you're a bit in the dark.
I was very in the dark.
Yeah, so I mean, it didn't help that halfway through the film, I think you saw my face and I was slouched in the chair, just being like, oh God, please. God. I'm not against the modernization.
Yeah, no, like to an extent, it's something we need, especially like in reference to like. If we link back to the original Mean Girls film, like the original classic, obviously there's a couple of like words and scenes in there that wouldn't necessarily fly today. Yeah, it's a very like time-based kind of film in a sense, because it tackled a lot of like I guess like homophobia, body image issues. Body image, big one. I guess just like girl-based kind of problems. I guess it's a very girls' film when you think about it. So the modernization of it feels very. Even though we are Gen Z, like me and Leenah, it felt very Gen Z in this film. As in like the negative aspects of Gen Z. Yeah, like I being like an older Gen Z and still relating to millennials in a sense, I can kind of see the like negative side, especially in this movie, of how Gen Z based it was. But there were good parts in it, I promise. There were. But even like, I mean, the fact that, we'll get into it a bit later anyway, but the whole great thing, editing-wise, throughout the original Mean Girls from like 2004 was they did a lot of split screen kind of stuff. Like the iconic like four-way call. The phone call. Yeah, it's such a good scene because obviously like, both taking place in different parts, recording-wise, in different parts, but then edited together side by side. Split screen, because like it's we said this, it's like a camera technique that I'd say was arguably ahead of its time in this film. So to have it not be included in the Mean Girls musical, it was like the movie musical, I was like, I mean, I know for a fact it's hard to do split screen when it's on stage kind of thing. Yeah, no, like on so I can forgive that. But it was the movie. I was like, that was such a missed opportunity. Yeah. Like it was so. I mean, even in the musical, they did it in a creative way of where they had a projector projecting the backgrounds a lot. So what they did was they had two projections of two different bedrooms. So even though the actors were like a few meters away from each other, for the audience it looks like they're in two separate rooms, so they did it well in the musical with what they had. Because like obviously it's a stage adaptation, so like, you know, they were creative. Like stage adaptations are always like creative in their own way anyway, because they don't have the advantage of the screen, but like they did well with what they had. But they definitely, I mean, saying that, they definitely explored that same kind of like editing style in the Mean Girls movie musical. Yeah. But I guess just in different ways, because like obviously we start the film with the song Cautionary Tale, and it's done on 16:9 kind of, i.e. a phone kind of aspect ratio, which is it's an interesting way of doing it because it's very, I guess, Gen Z, TikTok, and so it's got that relatability aspect in there. So I think that's an example of like the modernization we mentioned that I can kind of get behind. It was a good experimentation because obviously with the original Mean Girls from 2004, there was experimentation with the editing that they did. Very, very small amount, but still a really good amount. So to see them try and do that with this new one was nice, a nice consideration linking to the very original. Yeah. But obviously, like, as the song keeps going between Janice and Damien, the aspect ratio obviously expands into Katie in
standard,
Africa.
the standard movie kind of thing, movie aspect ratio.
Yeah.
With Katie in Africa, which was nice. It was nice.
It was nice. She did well on a performance basis of that opening scene. Because I think I remember reading a couple reviews and it said something along the lines of, oh, like Angora Rice, she doesn't have like a Broadway background or something. She's primarily just an actress, so like obviously. Well,
I really enjoyed it. Like you can tell she's funny because it took me a while to realize that she was she's the girl in Spider-Man Homecoming, I believe, the news reporter chick with on the screen.
Oh, Far From Home.
And in Far From Home she dates Ned for a bit.
Oh, that girl.
It's her.
Bonnie or something like that.
I think so. Bonnie. Yeah.
I remember her now.
So she is a really great actress, and I think throughout the film she is a great actress. Obviously, acting and theatre performance are very different from each other.
Yeah, because from looking at it, I'm looking at it from a perspective of the film and film acting. So she excelled in the performance as a film, but as a musical, I'm not quite sure.
You can tell it's not her expertise, but she definitely, for something that she's not known for, I guess.
Yeah,
she did really good at that kind of side of it.
Yeah, no, because like when it came to her like performing the songs, she did seem a little bit stiff. I think it was kind of
a little bit. I think it doesn't help that obviously, like we said before, they changed the songs massively.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Because especially I can't even really remember the performance that much for It Roars.
Yeah.
When Katie goes to high school, kind of thing. Because in the musical, it's very it's the transition of like her being in Africa to being in high school kind of thing. So it is very got like a lot of African beat to that music, and in the musical film you got none of that.
Yeah, no.
Which is, it's a little bit of a shame because I always felt like that gave personality to Katie. In a sense.
Yeah, it fully did. Yeah, I don't know why this bit stuck out to me the most, but in the It Roars song, the bit where she's running whilst she's, it was the bit where her mum's talking to her about like, I don't know.
Going back home.
Yeah, we have to move back to America, like I got the new job, and then she starts running out of nowhere. I
did like that little joke of where her mom is like it's like, where are you going kind
she's
of
still
thing.
talking.
Like, why are you running? Why are you running? Kind of thing. It was good because I can't remember her actress name. It's Pam, isn't it?
It's Pam from The Office.
Yeah. It was nice. Her character was it was good for Katie's mom. She suited it very well. But then obviously her running and then the quick like change to high school was kind of nice.
I like the transition from the bit in Africa to the high school. I just found the bit where she's running while singing a bit, I don't know, you can tell she's an actress and not got that Broadway background. In comparison to the rest of the cast. Yeah. But still, I think she did what she could with that.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, for all we know, maybe she has kind of thing, but obviously, based on her track record, it is very film based. But maybe she has before. But this is a very clear, very campy role, kind of very exaggerated kind of thing. So it's fair. But what I did like actually when she goes into like the high school kind of thing, that obvious kind of like change, I guess, from scenery was nice.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah. A lot of, it's not much to really say because it goes quite quick from that whole It Roars kind of aspect to it to, you know, you meet the maths teacher, you meet this, you meet that kind of thing.
I especially like the bit, like, it's just before, it was just as the song ends of where she nearly gets hit by the bus.
Oh,
when the bus just goes past. I don't know why, something about that juxtaposition of, like, the sort of, the wildness, but also, well, they're both wild in a sense, but, like, the wildness with the animals in Africa and, like, the life that she's used to and the homeschool sort of quiet life to the sudden...
hustle and bustle of, like, the bus and then also, like, everyone around her who especially immediately go into like the whole like
get out of
new
my way
kid attitude kind of thing.
Yeah.
But But then it straight away kind of cuts to this, her experience in school, and I guess when she goes into like the dining hall and it's being like, you know, she doesn't know where to eat kind of thing, so just goes to the bathroom. This is when we kind of, even though like we start the film immediately with Janice and Damien, this is also where we get to meet Janice and Damien for the first time, which is good.
Yeah.
I generally do feel like, obviously with the musical, I preferred that interaction a little bit better than this one with the musical film.
Okay.
Because in that, like, the way they do it, the stalls, like they do the bathroom stalls.
Yeah.
And they're theatre-wise, they're just on wheels so that they can do quick scene changes.
Yeah.
I like that side of it a little bit more compared to, obviously, like, I guess a film side, because it's very easy to be like, all right, scout a location, bathroom sorted, but then when you see it like trying to be portrayed on
like on stage, it's so clever how they do that very quickly. Yeah, no, so like I do agree with you. I do like the creativity behind that, and I don't know, you could tell they sort of thought of everything. You could tell that kind of more, well, like, you know, like the high school bit, the desks, they're also on wheels, so that's how they do the quick pivot changes. It around and like the quick pivot of like one class this way, one class that way. Yeah. It's so quick and so like well thought out in that moment, like almost like a montage, which is similar to the original film after all. I feel like it did kind of translate, but not in the right way when it came to the musical film, because I think it just appeared better on stage versus that. Yeah. But then, what did you think of Janice and Damien character-wise? So Damien in the movie, I loved. I really like Damien. I genuinely think that, you know, Jaquel Spivey, I don't know. Yeah. He genuinely, for me, he was another saving grace of that film. Honestly, him as Damien, I think, was casted really well. He was casted so well. Very funny, very funny. Extremely funny. Yeah. Yeah. I liked Janice's character as well. I think they gave her a lot more pizzazz, because I get that, like, throughout the film, she is the art student kind of thing. You can kind of get a better gist of her art kind of style, I guess. Yeah. Compared to, like, I guess the original film, because there wasn't that much compared to that. And there's even, like, a really cute bit of where she talks about her art style, where the drawings are facts and the like sewing is the feeling kind of thing. You can tell that is very meaningful and very art kid, which I liked. I like that they included that kind of thing. You know, I found it a bit like different, because to be honest, I do. Originally, I had a bit of a criticism that they portrayed Janice as too sort of artsy, and she seems more cool. Oh, really? Yeah, like to be honest, I do like that. Like I do actually like her as a person, and I do think she did a good job. I don't know, it was a bit different to what I was expecting, because in the movie she was very like cool, whereas in the original she was more outcasty. Yeah, I get that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, no, I get that. Especially, I mean, like, when we straight away meet Janice in the original film, isn't it that she's getting picked on for her hair and she immediately, like, claps back. Yeah. And it's like, I don't know, it's an interesting kind of contrast in that kind of thing, because she does clap back in You know, she's capable of doing that, but she doesn't, I don't know, she didn't clap back in a way that kind of captivated me immediately in comparison to the original movie. Yeah. And even in the Broadway version, I would argue as well. Well, yeah, because they do put this kind of thing that, like, it's weird, because obviously with theatre, you've got to ham up your emotion, and with the subject it is very campy, like I'm saying, very happy kind of thing. So Janice's character really has to, like, have those emotions kind of thing. And I think she did a really good job at this kind of character. Obviously, when we first meet them and Katie meets them for the first time in the toilets, like, I love that they included the whole, like,
The Danny DeVito line
kind
of thing.
The Danny DeVito line, the fact that they kept that the same in every single rendition we've watched so far, it made me happy.
It's good. It's
funny every time.
A small thing, but it's nice that they included it's in all three, which is good.
Yeah, it's funny every time.
Yeah, it's good.
It's really sick.
But then obviously, after that kind of thing, they transition back to kind of like helping Katie through, I guess, high school life.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is interesting. I like it best in the movie, in a sense, because you get the kind of thing of where they're outside, kind of, I don't know how to describe it. They're like outside under a tree kind of thing, and Janice is there like making her a map and basically like guiding her through, which is really, it's a really nice kind of friend kind of thing. Yeah. Especially for Katie.
Yeah, no, it's a very comprehensive sort of breakdown, which was kind of, I don't know, I think it just kind of set the tone of the film in a way. Yeah,
and especially, I mean, I know, like, trying to, like, there are a lot of songs in that kind of thing, but obviously that being translated to the musical version it's the, like, Where Do You Belong song throughout that.
Yeah.
Which is a very, like, cheerful, very nice, I'm not gonna lie, out of all the songs, it's not the one that I remember the most in any regard. I don't think actually it got included in the musical movie.
Yeah, no, because I know that the musical movie did omit quite a few songs.
Yeah, so, like, there was a few that got, like,
respectfully, it was a little bit forgettable.
It was a little bit, but I think, you know, it made space for what's kind of, like, way more, like, known songs, i.e. like Someone Gets Hurt is a very popular one, obviously, we'll talk about that in a bit, but but then obviously, in regards to like the original, going straight into the plastics kind of thing, it was interesting. I'm willing to talk about the characters first before ripping into the song, because my god.
My god, do we have a whole segment dedicated to that?
Yeah. So what did you think of Regina George in the musical film?
To be honest, she was decent. I did like her performance, and I think it helps that they casted Renee Rapp, who was in the Broadway version, into the musical movie. Like we said,
she was genuinely like one of my favorite bits of the movie musical. Yeah, because she knew what she was doing. She's done it before, and
you could tell she was the most experienced one in that cast. Like, she was one of the most experienced ones. Yeah. And I feel like she definitely brought, I don't know, of course Rachel McAdams is always going to be my favourite Regina George, but no, of course, like, she literally set the tone, and she's the Regina George that I'm always going to remember. Yeah. But, like, I do feel like musical-wise, Renee Rapp did do a good job. I feel like she embodied Regina really well.
I also like the fact, like, I mean, comparing, because this is obviously the introduction of Regina in both regards. It's so funny the outfit choice that they did for her, because it's this like black kind of tight kind of thing. It's interesting because especially when we first meet Regina, obviously not including like the sports PE outfits kind of thing, even though those are done in the plastics way anyway. Kind of we first meet Regina properly at lunchtime as well, and she's wearing this obvious like this black but with this pink and like a very like cutthroat kind of collar, very sharp, and it gives off her like personality before we even talk to her. In the musical, again, you've got this dark black look kind of thing, very very sexy, very this is very clearly Regina. But I think, I'm not gonna lie, throughout the film, the costuming was a bit questionable.
I don't think it served, to be honest.
No.
It didn't serve like it could. But I do agree, I did actually like Regina's look in the cafeteria. I really like it. I do agree, it was really, it was cutthroat. I don't know why I expected it to be pink. Like, I know there's...
I don't think it was Wednesday that day,
It might not have been, because... I forgot that it might not have been Wednesday, but, like, still...
Well, I think, film-wise, I think it was Tuesday, and then obviously she gets invited, and I think the next day's supposed to be Wednesday. Oh, the next day was Wednesday. So, like, it makes sense, her not wearing pink straight away, but there are still hints of it, kind of, especially in the original one. But with it being this very like sexy black look, it's kind of, it's a nice like welcome to Regina, and then welcome to the world of girls, i.e. the next day, Pink. Yeah. Kind of thing. Bit stereotypical, obviously, but
I can't massively blame it because obviously the original was made back in 2004, so obviously there are some sort of outdated ideologies in there, but like still, I would argue that Pink is kind of like the, I don't know, automatic association with femininity. So
the fact that it starts off straight away with her, and it's not even the first time. Usually Regina has actually worn a lot of dark colours, surprisingly, throughout kind of not every version of like going from, I guess all three do show her in darker colours at a lot of points, especially the movie, the 2004 one. As for that, compared to the musical, I have a close place in my heart for the Meet the Plastic song, so the fact that it cut out Gretchen and Karen's bit,
I was so sad.
I was not happy.
It sucked, respectfully.
It just missed out on a lot of really good opportunity, because like Gretchen's is fast, it's very constantly brings up Regina, every line has Regina's name in it. That makes sense for Gretchen's personality, because she is quite a quick fireball and constantly focused on Regina.
And then for Karen, it's the complete opposite.
Oh yeah, it's like nice and slow and very silly.
It's very simple sentences.
Like I love the like funniness of it being like her final bit. My name is Karen. I may not be smart. That's it. It's hilarious. I love that.
I love it so much.
So the fact that it wasn't in this was a little bit of a cut down, because I get Regina is supposed to be the star, but those were the good bits of the musical.
Like, yeah, I get the My Name is Regina George bit is still in there, and I get it, but it's
I mean, even in the trailer for the new film musical, it starts off with that because it's such a memorable bit.
So I can comprehend why it would still be in there, but like I don't know, like I said, Miss Trick to not put Gretchen and Karen's verse in there.
It still was good that they had Rennie Rapp doing it. Other than that, it was good.
Yeah.
But either way, we move on to the next person we kind of meet in the math class, being Aaron.
Oh, Aaron.
Now, be respectful, Leenah. Your thoughts on Aaron?
As in, like, as a person, or like?
We'll say person first.
He's alright. I don't know. Like, he didn't. Like, this is me trying to be respectful. He didn't, as a character, he didn't really stick out to me that much in the movie version. I don't know why. It's just something about him didn't stick out to me as much.
Yeah. He's not a big deal in both movie versions, but compare it to the theatre like version, he's a lot more involved.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure, didn't he have like a song in the Broadway version, or like didn't he have a bit where he sang or something?
Yeah, he sings like a reprised version of Stupid with Love, so it's like a duet version with Thingy. And even later when it's someone gets hurt, he does sing with Regina, like around the ending of it. But
that's it.
That is basically it. But then keep in mind, the theatre version of Mean Girls, the story is different for his character of where he's actually like, it's like a district problem of where he shouldn't technically be at that school because of the district he's in. That gets revealed through the burn book later on in the musical, the theatre musical.
Fair.
Meaning he gets homeschooled. So it's a whole different side of his character that, I'm not gonna lie, it's my one little thing with the theatre thing that I'm like, it's a weird change, and I think it's nice that they didn't do that. The plot was a little bit awkward after that.
All over the place a little bit.
Well, yeah, it's like, it's not memorable either. Like, you were giving me a face throughout me saying that, and I was like, like, surprised if you forgot. That's what happens in the film.
No, I genuinely didn't clock.
No, because obviously with the film version, and then obviously the musical film version, they stick to that original thing of that he's just pissed off with Katie at the end kind of thing, and that they get together at the end. theatre version, he's banned from going to the prom because he's not at that school anymore.
Yeah.
Which is a weird change. It's my one thing that I'm glad that they didn't include it in this film musical. But then, oh my god, so Stupid with Love.
Oh my god. Like my point at the beginning, I've got nothing against Angora Rice as an actress. She's good. I swear, she is good.
It wasn't her choice, I don't think, change the song, but it was a bit
she was low-key done dirty, I think.
Yeah.
She was done quite dirty. But like, it was back to what I was saying about sucking the personality out of the song. It was very present in Stupid with Love.
A few of Katie's songs in the musical are very clearly like African inspired kind of thing. Makes sense because that's where she's from.
Yeah.
So to have that kind of removed in this, I'm sorry, the whole bit of I'm astounded, I'm something, I'm filled with calculus, that whole bit in the musical is like, it's jumpy and it's very clear that is Katie's personality.
It's very like young girl who has a crush on a boy for the first time. It's got that innocence about it, which I mean, even though she's 16 years old, she starts high school very late, so it makes sense for her character to have that kind of thing because she's never experienced that before.
Yeah. But even that, like in the film musical, they cut out a verse, I think. Yeah, there's the whole like when I was 5, and then I think it's like when I was 10, kind of those two different verses. One being where stays in a tent with flowers. I think that's the one that's included in the film musical. The one that isn't, I think, is the one where she kind of chases a guy kind of, but she's young, so it makes sense. I'm not saying it's because of this, but I'm just saying it probably is because of the comment of where it's like, oh, being Kenya, he ran fast. You could kind of tell throughout the musical that they were trying to not get like cancelled in a sense, which is, it's fair. It's a topical based thing, some of the jokes that they were making, so it's understandable.
It goes back to what we were saying about like them trying to modernize it, and how in certain contexts within this it makes sense why they would do that, and it's probably a good call for them on their part to do that. But then there are other bits where I didn't see it overly necessary.
I mean, even the monotone, like I said before, the whole like I'm filled with calculus, does this guy work out? He must. It's all just one tone.
Yeah,
it just doesn't
very
make
monotone.
sense.
I wasn't. It's.
I was glad the song ended quickly with a bus suddenly just appearing. So
foreshadowing.
It was
foreshadowing.
Big foreshadowing. But I mean, other than that, I may not like that version, but I think compared to the next one being like, what was it?
Apex Predator.
Yeah.
I really like. It's one of my top 3 songs of the entire thing. I really liked Apex Predator, and so I liked both versions of Apex Predator, to be honest. I would say it's got, I don't know, it's got the same energy as compared to the Broadway musical version. I think it kind of matches it. Yeah. I think it's one where like, I'm happy with it. It's not one where I have a lot of criticisms on it.
Like, even though, like, I mean, change can be kind of scary kind of thing or anything in that regard, I do kind of prefer this one versus the musical one, because, like, the musical one is Katie and Janice singing different verses, but I really like that they involved Damien more musical.
Vocal-wise, yeah, definitely.
I loved it in comparison. Yeah. What are your top 3 out of curiosity so
top
far?
3. In no particular order, but just like top 3 in general. Apex Predator, Sexy, and I think it's it's the one that Janice and Damien sing at the beginning. We were talking about it.
Cautionary Tale.
Cautionary Tale. I really like Cautionary Tale. Again, I like their rendition of Cautionary Tale as well. Janice and Damien songs.
Oh yeah. I genuinely like, as much as we've ripped into a few of the songs so far, the Janice and Damien ones, those are actually really good.
Yeah.
Compared to, I mean, you know, again, if it ain't broke, don't fix kind of thing. But compared to the musical ones, like, I'm happy with those versions.
I think they served in both versions, and especially their chemistry as well. Yeah. As besties, like, I think it really worked.
Yeah.
And it was great.
It worked really well, especially with Apex Predator. I felt like the way they harmonized and the way they finished the song as well, because When this musical came out for the first time, I listened to just the soundtrack. My one little problem with it was I kept noticing that the end of each song was a really long note.
Mm-hmm.
I promise, like, go look at the soundtrack and just skip to the end of each song, and I promise you it's just a really long note of whatever line. It's in It Roars, it's obviously in World Burn, it's obviously in
Apex Predator.
Apex Predator,
yeah.
It's in Apex
We're
Predator.
just talking about it.
Yeah. But I think this is why I liked this version, because keep in mind, the musical came out like years ago. So this was my problem back then, a little bit, that they kept doing that at the end of all their songs. But compared to this, I liked the fact that they did it as like, they repeated Apex Predator a few times instead of doing that long note.
It was a nice break.
It was a nice break. I liked that. Like, I'm not against... There are loads of musicals that have a really long note at the end of it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you do that constantly, I do start to get a little bit bored.
Yeah, because I think it does kind of serve as a bit of a reminder that it's a musical, but it's still a film at the end of the day. So you kind of need to like move on to the next bit. It's not like a Broadway show of where you need to kind of add that extra bit of, you don't need to utilize every bit of personality in a film in comparison to on Broadway. Like, there's less pressure on that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
I also liked it visually with like, because with that whole like the Apex Predator bit, it's this like, it's when Regina, Gretchen, and Karen are on the stairs, and it's this really cool like looking up shot, and that's how that finished. It's really cool.
Oh yeah, like it's symbolic of that like hierarchy of them. It's like really, really sick.
They did that really. That is my one thing that I really enjoyed with the ending of that song, is the fact that like, yes, like you said, the hierarchy of it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they are.
That's Apex Predators. Look at us getting symbolism and metaphors. Right? If I did this in my GCSE English lit exam, I would have gotten a higher grade. I'm not gonna lie to you. But no.
What grade did you get?
In literature, I got a 4.
What?
Oh yeah, sorry, I forget. There's a 3-year age gap between us. So
okay,
you did
okay, hang on.
Wait, did you actually get like A's? Like, was your grading like
Mine was letters. It wasn't numbers.
No, truthfully, you're very lucky. I hate that Mars was numbers. 4 is a low C. It's a standard pass.
Okay.
So it's, you know.
What does the numbers go up to?
Actually? It goes up to 9. So 9 is like A star, essentially.
Oh, okay.
A star premium, I guess. But like, yeah, no. But as well with the end of that song, I'm pretty sure it's the one where it ends with Regina and her friends pulling up in the car and be like, getting loser.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but something about the way she said, get in loser. The softness, but yet the firmness of her voice when she said that.
It was nice.
It just had that...
In comparison to it.
Yeah, it just had that calmness about it. Because obviously we know that Regina is not calm, but like the way she just narrows it down to like just get in loser.
It almost gave her a little bit of... Because I think they do kind of... In the musical film version, they almost give her more of a soul.
Yeah. It kind of... I feel like it pushes that message of Apex Predator of like... Isn't it with the Apex Predator of how they sort of like... I don't know, they blend into normal life and then they kind of attack?
Yeah, there's a lot of like break... Even in the musical as well, there's a lot of breaks for acting and dialogue kind of thing. It's nice that kind of translated quite well into this as well.
Yeah, I really like that.
It was good. And then obviously, like, as they are getting to her house is when we get the iconic burn book.
Burn book. And Regina's mum.
Oh my god.
Not a regular mum, cool mum.
I liked the actress, but I really preferred the original.
Yeah, I think the actress in the original film just had more personality, I guess.
Yeah.
And she had, I don't know what it is, she had more of a motherly quality about her. Like, she actually had mother qualities, because this is like just a little bit I noticed, but like in the original movie, she's like, I'm not a regular mum, I'm a cool mum, and then she gives them drinks, and then Katie's like, oh wait, are these alcoholic? And she's like, oh no, these are not alcoholic, but like, if you are gonna drink, I would rather you do it in this house.
Honestly,
and like, I was like that's a pretty, like, I don't drink, so I'm not fully aware of that, but like, I feel
shock
like
and horror.
Oh, shock and, oh my god. But like, nah, the fact that she was like, I would rather you do it here, I feel like that's really good parenting.
Oh yeah, I mean, keep in mind, like, parenting standards kind of thing for this film aren't crazy high, but like, if you could be...
I don't know, I just
mum-wise.
Mum-wise, yeah, I just thought that with that little implicit bit of dialogue, it just kind of, it gives that impression that she is a cool mum, and she's got that protective sort of energy, because obviously she's got the...
But she is a bit of, obviously she is still like a pushover character-wise.
No. Of course she's still a pushover character.
It's Regina's room that, like, Katie even comments being like, you've got a really cool room, and they're like, thanks, I made my parents swap kind of thing. It's like, there's, you know,
still a pushover.
Pros and cons.
Yeah, pros and cons, but like, I don't know, I just found that the old one had that maternal quality, whereas the new one was sort of, I don't know, I guess trying too hard.
A little bit.
I don't know, she was...
Which did suit the character, though.
It suited the character, it suited the character. I don't know, less of a mum, more of like a wannabe friend. As opposed to it. But
and to be honest, I relate to that massively, because, like, when I, obviously legal drinking age kind of time, there wasn't much to do drinking wise, so like, even though me and my mates did drink, my mum felt way more comfortable with the knowledge of, you can drink here because at least I know that you're gonna be safe, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which I think, for like parents in general, because that is quite like a scary idea of your kid being of age now and being able to drink kind of thing. If you could control it in any way without making it, I guess, controlling or smothering, the idea of letting your kids have, like, call it not a party, or like, not, especially not to the same level as like the film parties that happen in this kind of thing, but just even being like, let your kids hang out kind of thing while you go to bed, and let them drink as long as it's chill.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Because then that gives them the experience. It warms them up to that side of life without them going reckless. I have gone on many nights out, and I've been reckless, I won't lie, but I have not been to a level that has been, like, dangerous.
Yeah.
Because I had that controlled freedom, in a sense.
Yeah.
So, but
so just, like I said, the presence of the original mother.
Yeah.
I just liked it.
It was just a little...
She radiated that wholesome energy about her.
She did, compared to her, because even, I think, one of the lines in the musical film, enjoy your beauty while you can, kind of thing.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
It's a little, like she feels very backhanded compliment kind of vibe, so you can kind of tell that is Regina's mum.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
It feels backhanded, because I get what they're trying to say, but it's like, it does feel a bit backhanded.
Yeah, there is this idea of that the older generation, they're wiser because they've experienced it, and they see the younger generation experience what they've gone through, and I guess I think that's kind of why with Mean Girls in particular, when the fact that this is very Gen Z, I think it's kind of why it's jarring compared to the original, because it's a very clear 2-generation difference in a sense, even though this film came out like 2004.
Yeah, in terms of who'd be watching it, it's millennial based.
Yeah, it's a millennial film, even though it's 2004, obviously. But it's that kind of audience versus this current audience, which is Gen Z, so it is kind of like that clash, in a sense. Because it's like a mum that finds the burn book and shows it, I think, compared to the original, which is like Gretchen finds it or something.
Yeah.
I don't think they changed a massive amount of stuff that was included, except for the obvious, the Janice page.
Oh yeah, no, the bit, what it says about Janice. So like,
I think it's been different in all 3 films.
Yeah, because like in the first one, it was just
Also, just as a little thing, I obviously we put a warning at the start of this that we'd be talking about sensitive themes, kind of thing. The words used, it's not the same in each one, I don't think, but definitely in the first film, it's the word dyke.
Like on its own.
The musical, I think they did it as, Space Dyke.
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually know why they added the extra thing, but I think it's because at that age, or with the backstory that they do for it in the musical, they add in this extra, like, Janice being pissed off and screaming at her that she's from space or something like that, so that's how that occurs, kind of thing. But then in this musical version, it's Pyro-Les.
Yeah.
I get the change, because obviously I think for some people think that dyke is a slur. For me personally, I was never actually, to my face, to my knowledge, called a dyke, but being someone who is like bisexual and very masculine presenting, I personally don't connect with the word in like too much of a negative way, but I understand the sensitiveness of that word.
Yeah.
Compared to like, at least it's not the F word, you know? Like,
yeah, no.
So I understand why in the new film they like tamed it a little bit, because it's still kind of a word that is a little bit like,
it's a sensitive kind of area.
It is.
Again, it's just one of those words of where it's like, I kind of put it on a level of like, okay, if it doesn't apply to me, I can't say it, sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's at the end of the day, you let the words have power based on your like reaction to that word.
Yeah. In a way, you kind of need to say the word to talk about the word.
I'm very much kind of person of where, like, if you really want to have a conversation, I think even Samuel Jackson talked about it in an interview, being like, we ain't gonna talk about it if you can't even say the word, kind of thing. Other stuff in the book, it's not too heavy. Other than that kind of thing, there's like a bit of slut shaming, I guess.
Yeah, no. Again, I think that's a recurring theme.
Yeah, like, because I think that's a big one throughout it.
Big one throughout it, especially like, obviously in a sort of, it's a negative thing associated primarily with women.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think a big part of, like, a negative part of girlhood was the sort of, like, girls coming after girls and slut-shaming one another over
which is weird things. Because, like, I think this is where, like, I guess, what's it called, like, the paradox of the sentence that I think Gretchen uses of, like, the rules of feminism.
Yeah.
And yet, like, the feminism throughout this film is so clearly, like...
It's quite toxic.
Speaking of rules of feminism, that gets on to sexy, actually.
Sexy? Oh my god.
Yeah, let's take this back to, like, a light-hearted kind of thing.
I love sexy. It's ironic coming from me, but...
Oh, yeah.
It's, like I mean, I don't even dress up for Halloween, let alone dress sexy, but, like...
Yeah.
As a song, I love it, and I know, despite, you know, what some critics might argue in regards to the subject of the song about, like, setting women back or whatever, as a song I really like it. I just think it was a break from the I guess the sort of, like, the power and the toxic culture around everyone. So, like, obviously it's
because this does come directly after the whole, like, book kind of thing, you know.
Yeah, like it comes after the book, so it's at the Halloween party. So after, like, Janice has her song, like, targeting Regina, and after, like, Regina has her song just talking about the power of her, and you've got that, like, got that fiery duel between the two. But then you've just got Karen singing about sexy costumes and how she wished it could be Halloween.
And it's just really funny throughout.
It's really funny, and it's like, I don't know, I quite liked it. It was like a bit of a fun, a silly song.
I love the line, I give you sexy corn.
I give you sexy corn.
It's just like, oh my god, yeah, that's actually a costume. They've turned food into a sexy thing. It's just, it's so silly.
They turn loads of things sexy. Like, I didn't think there could be, like, a sexy shark, and yet here we are. But, like, I just love the song as, like, a bit of a breather between the two tense, fiery personalities of Janice and Regina. Like, we say that they were all mean, but Karen, technically she wasn't just a mean girl. She was friends with Regina and she hung out with her for the association, but, like, when you really think about it,
she was actually quite sweet.
Technically, she was the only one that wasn't overtly mean.
Yeah, like, you could clearly tell that, like, in regards with even, like, the Burn book, she was clearly, like, part of it, but not the instigator of it. Like, she laughed at a lot of stuff in it, but not... I don't think she would have been the one doing it, or it's very clearly a Regina, and I guess a Gretchen kind of thing, because she does kind of push Katie to add stuff to it as well, you know?
Oh, yeah, no, like, sorry, going back to the burn book, I just realised this point.
What?
It just, no, this is just like a little thing that was in all of them, but the bit where Katie says the thing about Damien about being too gay to function and they tell her to write it down.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like that, this is the case in all 3 versions, but like, I feel like if she communicated to Damien and Janice saying, sorry, it says I wrote this about you, and also Janice, when she lied and said Janice wasn't in it.
Honestly, no, I think if she just said it, it could have been avoided.
It could have, the whole mess of like the accusations being thrown at Katie could have been solved had she just said, had she not lied. Because
I feel like she could have legit, like, I get that she was also kind of protecting Janice because she didn't actually know at that point what was the whole thing between Regina and Janice at that point.
Yeah.
Which even throughout all 3, it's Regina saying one side of it, that not being the correct side, and then Damien explaining it. It's the same in all 3 as well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sexy.
Yeah. I do find it very funny. In all 3, the outfit that Katie wears. It's that like the bride,
the corpse
kind of
bride,
thing.
and like the monster bride. Particularly like in the Broadway version,
I love it in the Broadway. This is how you can tell theatre kind of thing. The fact that was a rip away into the normal clothes to go back into like next day at high school kind of thing. I love that.
Damn.
And that was during Revenge Party, I think, actually, as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But then, can't talk about Revenge Party until someone gets hurt.
Yeah.
I love that. You know how you said your top 3 songs?
Mm-hmm.
Mine are Someone Gets Hurt. This isn't in any particular order either. Yeah. Someone Gets Hurt, World Burn. It's very clear I like Regina.
Yeah.
But I'd Rather Be Me as well. Those 3.
Rather Be Me is good. I like Rather Be Me.
That whole obvious thing throughout Someone Gets Hurt of Regina talking to Aaron. Kind of thing. It's supposed to be this very like vulnerable kind of thing for her throughout it. Even though, it is her kind of trying to get back with Aaron to basically piss off Katie kind of thing.
Again, Renee Rapp, she slays in both.
I think that's the thing. If it wasn't Renee Rapp in the thing, I would be like not anti the musical film, but like she's a saving grace.
She was a saving grace. Like we wouldn't be ripping on it as hard.
Oh yeah, no. The almost out of spite, this podcast wouldn't exist because I would have been that annoyed by this film. But like you know.
But it's I really like both versions, to be honest. I guess
it's forgiving. I think I know we're not like dancers kind of thing or anything in that regard, or like what is it, choreographers? Yeah. I know that's not our specialties, but I think I really preferred the film musical version compared to the theatre one, because it's just Regina and Aaron kind of thing. Versus this, the way they did it of this whole like very like slow kind of carousel kind of thing. I liked that because it kind of felt very like a facade kind of thing. It felt very musical, like not music, like a music video. That felt more music video. Yeah. And I didn't hate it, but when you compare it to the fact that it's a musical theatre kind of thing, I'm very on the fence with this.
Yeah. I think performance-wise, I would give the edge to the musical movie version.
Yeah.
I don't know, I liked the colour scheme of it as well, of the red and just the sort of line between them and how it was like, I don't know, because the whole party was like freeze framed and then it was just them. I quite like it. I think it arguably gave Aaron a bit more prominence in a way. Like even though yes, it might have been short lived, it was still
it was very, like, this is Aaron, but, like, I think, especially the musical one, because he actually does sing in that one, versus this of where, like, I know it's not a massive amount he sings in it, it's just, like, the final, like, damn you're fine kind of thing. It's a shared bit at the end of that song, versus the movie thing of where he just, I don't think he sings once throughout the entirety of it.
I would remember if he did.
Yeah, I think Chris Briney may not be a singer, and maybe that might be why. But, yeah, I don't remember him singing, so the fact that they didn't include singing in that was my only one little thing.
That's the one that ends with, like, Regina kissing Aaron.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Katie sees it, so that's kind of what...
A bit bitchy, I'm not gonna lie, but...
Just a little bit.
Yeah. But obviously, you know, she, like, runs out, and that kind of, like, leads to the next, like...
Yeah, so that kind of kickstarts... I don't know, that's kind of what sets the fire in Katie of, okay, yeah, Regina is a bitch.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's when she, like, you know, is on board with Janice's plan, and then just...
Yeah, yeah. And also, like, the big kind of reveal of, like, why Janice and Regina don't... The reason they aren't friends anymore, the whole kind of, like...
Yeah. I like the backstory in the movie musical of why they aren't friends anymore, of, like... Of the whole doll thing, and obviously how Damien explained it with the dolls.
Oh,
it was really funny.
Nice. It was cute.
It was cute. I don't know, it reinforced again that childish sort of thing about it. But, like, I don't know why. I feel like the story of why they aren't friends anymore, with, like, ending like Janice setting her bag on fire, is kind of like, I kind of felt it was like a little more...
it's because of the whole... Like, it's more, I think she was trying to set the doll on fire because she found out it was, like, called Sissy Liz, i.e., like, obsessed lesbian kind of thing. Which is a lot funny. Have you heard of the... it's like a little theory of Regina not being the smartest girl, obviously, didn't know what Lebanese meant.
My god.
Yeah. So
because, like, she is Lebanese, but then
like, Janice is Lebanese in
the original movie.
In the original.
And then she ended up...
She thought it was, like, lesbian, not Lebanese.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. It's like the, like, what is that, like, hey, I'm lesbian.
I thought you were American.
Yeah, it's just the fact that the idea of it throughout is it's just that.
Yeah, it was funny, but, like, I don't know, I think the story of why they aren't friends, I don't know, I thought it was a bit more well thought out.
Yeah, a little bit,
in comparison to the rest of it.
Yeah, they put a little bit more thought into it, not just being the fact that, like, oh, she's lesbian, picking on her kind of thing. They actually gave it a little bit more meat, in a sense.
Yeah, no, because, like, obviously back in 2004, it was one of them ones where, like words like gay and lesbian were used as insults, and it's like, obviously
it's different now.
It's different now because they knew that shit wouldn't fly today, like I said.
Oh god, no.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, I do like, I think of it quite equal grounds for the Revenge Party song.
Yeah.
Because obviously that's where we get the whole, like, all the little revenge things, especially, like, in the movie of the whole, like, Keltine bars and then, like, the water spray thing. I think that's where you get a lot of, especially in Sexy, this whole, like, TikTok side of it as well.
Because, like, they do experiment with split screen, just in a different...
Yeah, just not in the way that we wanted.
Truthfully, no, because, like, again, I understand the concept of, like you said before, experimenting with different aspect ratios, and, like, in the beginning, in, I keep forgetting the name Cautionary Tale. Yeah. I like the aspect ratio of that, and then how it expands.
Yeah, but, like, in this, with the whole, like, because I'm pretty sure it's the whole bit of, like, what's Regina doing, what's Regina wearing, it's all done with, because this is at the moment where she's getting sprayed with water, so her hair's all wet and her, like, makeup's run. They do this, like, filter thing, very, like, TikTok kind of, or, like, Snapchat kind of feel, which, again, very Gen Z, but again, exploring that split screen thing, which is, it's alright.
Yeah, it's okay. Like, even in just going back to Sexy, like, the use of the TikTok split screen in Sexy, I do like the twist. Like, do you know, at the end of the song where she goes, I'm a sexy mouse, duh. I like the way they put the filter of the mouse. They put the mouse filter at the end of the song. Yeah, they did.
Oh, right.
In the movie musical. I don't know, I like that bit of a twist. It was, like, nice. But then when they were overusing the TikTok, and there were loads of different screens there were loads of different TikTok.
There was a bit, especially in Sexy, of where obviously they kept Karen in the middle, tinier screens.
Yeah, and they were also tiny. It got a bit. I don't know. It became harder to track and
it was
harder to follow.
A little too much for its own good. But the fact they also kind of did it in this, they did it a little bit better in this because I think it was 4 like screens of these like 4 girls doing the filter, obviously.
Yeah.
It worked a lot better in that. Again, I'm still salty that there wasn't a split screen phone call.
Yeah, no.
That's my one thing.
They cut that out completely.
Yeah, no, I didn't clock that straight away, but yeah.
It was, again, needless to say, that pained us. It greatly pained us.
Either way, Revenge Party, a good song. It was a nice kind of like a nice montage because it gets through all the stuff, especially in the original film, that's like kind of spread throughout of the whole like Kelteen bar thing, and then the big thing being the whole like the candy canes kind of thing, going through all that, and the whole like revealing that that Regina is cheating on Aaron kind of thing. It all gets very much montage kind of thing, because especially compared to the movie and then translating that all into the theatre thing, they do go through it quite quick because it is a lot.
Yeah, no, because like even I remember in the original film version when it came to exposing Regina for cheating on Aaron, Katie tries like 3 times to get Aaron to go into the closet, and he manages to never do it.
It's a long kind of thing, which makes sense because it's a movie kind of thing.
Yeah, no, it's a movie. They wanted to prolong it a bit, but like, yeah, no, it was just the fact that it took him that long to clock, only for Katie to just tell him in the end.
Yeah.
But like,
so it went through it quicker, which is good. Again, I still love the whole candy cane bit of like
you go Glen Coco,
Glen Coco, and it's like, and none for Gretchen Wieners, bye. It's good.
Again, Damien,
Amy is so good throughout it, honestly, especially with that whole kind of cane thing, transitioning like into Christmas at that point, going from especially the start of the song being Halloween into Christmas. It was a nice time skip.
I like that time skip. I also liked Damien's performance.
Oh my god, yes.
Again, with Damien, he I'm sorry, he ate.
Like, trust me, I love Damien in the original and also in the
Yeah, Damien himself, he's a really good character. Like, there's something about movie musical Damien.
It's just so good.
The iCarly theme tune in French.
It's so good. It's so like, don't get me wrong, the performance in the movie of where he's singing, I think it's I Am Beautiful or something like that. It's still really good, but it's just so beautiful. And this again is an aspect ratio thing, because they did it as like vintage square screen movie kind of thing, which it was nice.
It's like an experimental sort of
it's going back to like a nice like an old-timey kind of aspect ratio for film. So like the fact that they experimented so much with like aspect ratio, it was good.
I liked that.
Yeah. And then we get the iconic Christmas dance.
You've got the Christmas dance.
Yeah. Compared to the film, it still stands up a lot better than this, in my opinion.
As in, like, you preferred the musical film version, or as in...
Oh, I mean, the film, the 2004.
Oh, yeah, no, that was my favourite rendition.
Yeah.
Truthfully, yeah.
Because don't get me wrong, like, I get why of the whole, like, it humiliated the Mean Girls and Katie ended up being... Alright. I don't know if that got heard on there, but I just... Apparently, my can is on the floor, it's empty, and it just decided to do a little jump. So,
sound design moment. Where's my microphone when I need it?
It's right in front of you.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. The fact that, I get it was supposed to humiliate the Mean Girls and Katie being on top, but versus the movie 2004 version, first off, you get the mum coming back and she's just This is what I mean. She's better in that version.
I love just the way she's holding the camera and like it. I don't know. I really like that. I missed it in the.
Yeah. Well, I think it just wasn't memorable. If it was in it, then it just.
Because I don't remember it truthfully.
Yeah,
but
it was just not because it's that whole kind of like she saves the show kind of thing. The Mean Girls still look a little bit silly, but also still performed good in a sense. But versus that, I say that the only thing I did enjoy about the dance kind of thing in the musical movie is again Damien when he shouts out "Thank you" next.
Yeah.
Because obviously the Ariana Grande song, it's good. It's my only enjoyable bit of that bit. The Damien being Damien.
The prime saving grace. Second one being Rennie Rapp.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. But I think at this point, strangely enough, with the theatre thing, it's at the Christmas point that the corruption of Katie kind of happens, and the whole like she's turned Regina's friends against her, and the whole iconic like you can't sit with us kind of thing occurs.
I would say that's like heavily reinforced with like when they turn to Katie like Katie, what do you think?
Oh, with the you can't sit with us bit. Yeah.
Obviously, it was Gretchen's outburst of the "you can't sit with us." Again, I'll admit it hits every time. To be honest,
it always. I think out of all of it, it does hit very good in the musical one, where it's like "you can't sit with us, you can't sit with us" kind of thing on repeat. It's just really funny because it sounds like she's just like hyperventilating it.
Like I think a power move on Katie's part, like to reinforce what you said about the apex predator. It was the bit where she turns around. She has that posture. Obviously, you can't, just the bit where she's like leaning back, she crosses her legs, she's like, "Sorry, Regina, rules are rules."
Yeah.
Low-key, I kind of felt the chills. I was like, okay.
It's like, this is a powerful kind of thing. Yeah. Especially
like compared to the original movie where they don't ask Katie, they just look at her and she just looks down, doesn't say anything. So you could, she was more passive in that one. Even though she was like,
I mean, even Regina, in both versions, obviously, like, in, like, the movie 2004 version, she gets laughed at as she's being left because somebody who I wouldn't class I wouldn't class as a big girl. I think she's just a bit curvy, but the fact that she was like, "Watch where you're going, fat ass," kind of thing.
Oh my god.
Regina wasn't even big, though.
Yeah, no, like I said before, this is how you can tell this film was released in the early 2000s.
Yeah, because
like...
It really... at most, she was just a normal-sized person.
She was, like, just more proportionate, if anything.
Yeah. But then when you get it in the musical film version, it's just that she's like, "Take a picture, losers, it'll last longer." They don't even do that bit. It's just moved on, but you clearly see the corruption of Katie from that moment onwards because she cares more about like her looks and all that, and especially the whole like
she's overthrown Regina.
It's that big thing for her. But then you get that whole her party kind of thing and the whole Janice kind of
the "you dirty little liar."
Yeah. It's that big portrayal. This is what I mean. You know how I said before my top 3 is like when someone gets hurt. I love Janice's the reprise of that song. I love it. I wish it was in both versions. I wish it was longer, but it's only like a quick like minute long thing.
Yeah. As well, I think out of all 3 scenes, I think I prefer the first version of it. Just the bit where they're circling around in the car.
Oh, and she's in the
she's in the top bit where she's just stood up and Damien's like, "I have a curfew, I need to go back out."
Yeah,
Respectfully, I've never related to anything. I also found it funny with Damien on the mobility scooter.
Oh my god, yeah.
And the "I want my pink shirt back" again, it slays every time.
I think, to be honest, out of all the line deliveries, as much as we've been like hyping up this version of Damien, the original I just prefer because of the way he shouts it.
No, "I want my pink shirt back." That bit's my favourite. But then, World Burn, isn't it?
Again, another one of my favourite songs. World Burn.
It's a good one.
Like, I said this before about even like someone gets hurt. During that party sequence, it looked very music video kind of esque to it.
Yeah. Little bit of sound design technically that's not a song. The way she screams. So like when so like it was when she finds out about the Caltine bar, she screams, and then that scream is used in the transition for when she walks into the room of the next scene of where she's writing the burn book.
I think that's like in both the musical movie and the original movie. They do it in both, don't they?
Yeah, they do it in all three.
The way, especially with that sound thing, the way they did the changing of scene to that, I liked that as well.
Yeah, that was really good.
My one thing, and like, it was a lot of like flashing lights when it was the whole changing from red during all the fights and all that.
Yeah.
Which wasn't bad, but obviously like, if you're someone with epilepsy, it's something to watch out for.
Yeah, like a minor discretion.
Yeah.
The bit in everyone finding out about the burn book, and then the bit in the hallway with like where Miss Norbury takes them on to like, oh, you've got to stop calling each other sluts and whores, and then they do the trust fund thing.
Yeah. I think it's something that you and I can both agree.
It's so stupid.
It is a stupid word.
Like, because we have both called it for stupid reasons.
Oh yeah, no, like, I mean, that's the thing. This is weirdly relatable right now, but like a few days ago, I got catcalled, which was so weird to me, because I don't usually get catcalled. I dress kind of masculine, but I was kind of like going on a date, so I put on a skirt. And these like when I looked at them, I swear down, they looked like just teenage boys, which is why it felt even weirder in a sense. But they were behind me as I was walking, and they were like, damn, she got gagged.
Oh my god.
I was just like, I'm like not going to turn around right now, because I was trying not to laugh, because in my mind I thought it was really funny, but obviously to anyone who's been catcalled,
it's not
fun by any regards.
Yeah, no, because like I was also recently, this was when I was like 16, I was I just went out, I decided to, play on the swing, I don't know why. I put my headphones on, it was fun, it was a tree swing, and there were these boys behind me, and they were like, damn girl, you got a nice ass, and truthfully, I was trying to look around, I was like, oh, I realized I was the only one that was like, oh shit, it's me.
Yeah.
So they were talking about me, so I tried not to look, I was a bit scared in the moment, but then they walked away after 2 minutes, and I was looking at them, 14 years old at most.
It's so weird.
14 at most. They were children. One of them barely hit puberty.
Yeah. Okay, that's just so weird.
That's
this is
just
what
weird.
I mean. Like, you need to teach your kids early on that stuff like that just ain't acceptable, because
it's just so stupid.
It's just enforcing this like negative kind of thing. And especially, this is the whole thing again about like feminism and all that. It's when it's girl against girl or girl against boy is very much the vibe that is especially created in Mean Girls.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. It translates to the world very clearly. Like, these being our own personal kind of things. It's like,
This movie, like the original film, was arguably very ahead of its time, because it was Miss Norbury that was like, we have to stop calling each other sluts and whores, because if you do that, it just makes it okay for guys to do that to you. And obviously at that point,
I mean, it's even enforced more in like well, I guess with the musical film thing, it goes straight into Regina's song, another song that I really love, obviously. I'd Rather Be Me, the big kind of like reveal.
Janice's song.
Did I say Regina?
Yeah, you said Regina.
My bad, Janice. It's not, I mean, it's almost like they're both the same.
In a way, yeah, like...
It's very easy to get them both mixed up, because as much as you could just be like, Regina's evil, so is Janice, when you think about it.
Yeah, no, she literally... They both used Katie in a way.
They both used Katie, in a sense. I mean, Katie's... There is no... This is a great film because...
Everyone is a mean girl.
Everyone is mean.
Hence the title of the film. Yeah. They are all mean girls.
But even at the end, when Regina does, like, at the prom kind of thing, it's very clear that she's still human, in a sense.
Yeah.
Especially with not Regina's song, I don't know why I keep doing that. Janice's song, I'd Rather Be Me. They even explore that in that song of where, like, boys get to fight and we have to share kind of mentality in one particular verse. It's very truthful. Girls are supposed to be almost, like, either against each other or, like, let's just fight and then make up and not just spread lies. Because I feel like having mostly masculine friends, they have always kind of been like, if there is a problem, they'll either get into an argument kind of thing or like just sort it out, which is kind of, fair dues. But then when I've had female friends, I find out from everyone else that there has been a problem instead of from the girl itself. That's like high school.
Yeah,
I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, so it'll be different.
It's different. I mean, like, I wish it was different now kind of thing, but obviously, like, there are still prime examples that I have seen girls go through. It is that great kind of like, you know, I'd rather be me kind of thing.
Yeah, and with addition to that scene, moving on to a more light-hearted basis. I know we touched base on it, but it was like...
It's hard not to be like both light-hearted and...
You know, like, we could explore, like, really deep themes involving, like, gender and, like, the history of sort of putting down each other, like, that whole self-hate and prophecy, and then sexy.
Sexy, or like, you know, like...
I can cure some sexy cancer.
Yeah.
Controversial, but the iconic dialogue of "she doesn't even go here," I would say the new version does it the best. The new Damien does it the best.
I do actually agree with you. Yeah. Thing. Like in the film 2004
original.
Yeah, it's iconic.
But like with the new musical, he says it in a sassy voice. He doesn't try to replicate the original in any way. He just says it in how he would say it.
Yeah.
And the added bit of where he goes down afterwards.
The sinking down with like, especially because he's got this like sassy face on as well. Also, this is like a tiny thing that I think pushes it a little bit more. It is the same outfit kind of thing, the same blue hoodie, but I'm pretty sure the color of the hoodie is a little bit more vibrant than the original one, which I think kind of also does it a bit because it feels a lot more...
It stood out to me a bit more.
It stands out a little bit more compared to... I mean, I get the whole thing of where it's supposed to be the girls' only thing in that bit, so the fact that Damien was in there anyway was like... It makes sense having a muted colour so he wouldn't stand out, but at the same time, it did make it a little bit better that it was that colour versus the like pastel blue, I think it was.
Yeah, no, I think the pastel just kind of it blended into the background a little
too much. It didn't help that it's kind of like, again, like 2004 kind of quality film, so like... You know, it looks way more vibrant.
So I just had to bring that up because
it's very iconic.
It was needed.
Yeah. Also iconic bus scene between Regina and
Just again, like we said, foreshadowing at the beginning. Like, you know, at the beginning where Katie walks into the school and then the bus, she nearly gets hit by the bus.
Yeah.
Twice, I think. One where she goes into it, and then the other when she comes out and her mum's picking her up. Janice finishing Rather Be Me just in the foreground, and then the background. Her getting hit in the bus in the background kind of did something. I'm not gonna lie to you. It made it a little bit funnier.
I think it did.
I know it's not funny, but like it was funny.
Oh yeah. She gets hit by a bus. I mean, it is such a quick kind of motion in itself. But I think it actually kind of helped because there's the whole kind of thing, even though we know Katie didn't push Regina.
Yeah.
It was kind of helpful that it was in the background in a sense, because straight after that you get all this again with the whole TikTok and like social media thing of where it's like Katie pushed her or Katie didn't push it kind of thing. It was kind of good that it was in the background because it kind of matched quite well with that. Yeah,
no, like even though you've got the, like in the original movie it's like, oh, do you know what everybody says about you? They say you're a homeschool jungle freak who's a less hot version of me. As iconic as it is, I am happy that dialogue is there, but like the fact that they cut the argument and just have it going on in the background, it was funny, but it also kind of pushed the message of Janice's song.
Definitely in the original, it's a big shock that it happens, which is why you have Regina saying those lines and then bam, she gets hit. But obviously with the musical and the film musical, it's hard to make that a shock because you go into this film, if you haven't ever seen any of this, wow, you're living under a rock.
Yes.
But you can't go into this not knowing the shock and the twist of one, the burn book, and two, the bus, obviously. I mean, even in, I don't think we touched on this, but with the burn book and the whole, like, it's the whole line of this girl is a fugly cow kind of thing. They do it in the movie musical. I get why, because it's supposed to be the, oh, we think Katie's gonna be in the book, but it's not, it's Regina. In the musical, they just say Regina is a fugly cow.
Yeah, like...
So it's a weird little change that it didn't seem needed, you know? But it's hard to make that a big twist, so the fact that they did it in the background, I felt it was a nice kind of way of doing it compared to the obvious way of doing it.
And then from that point, Katie's name kind of gets dragged through the mud, essentially. Her reputation definitely took like a massive crash.
Yeah.
And I think that Miss Norbury being a drug pusher didn't...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that didn't really help.
I mean, even it's kind of good that her reputation got pushed down, because something that we haven't really brought up mostly, especially with like Stupid with Love kind of thing, to impress Aaron, because she really wants to be with Aaron throughout it, she dumbs herself down so that she can be like interesting to him or anything like that, or to get tutored by him, basically.
Yeah, I feel like that's another example of like the toxic femininity.
Females have to dumb themselves down so that men can
view them as interesting. They can sort of take the opportunity of I can help sort of thing.
Which is kind of good that like her reputation gets ruined, because then again, like you were saying with Miss Norberry,
like her being a drug pusher.
And her trying to push her to just be better at maths kind of thing, because she knows that she is.
Because I feel like Miss Norberry serves as the kind of feminism that we needed. Especially back in the original movie, like she's the one that kind of called it out with that one. But
and
like,
she's very, as a woman, she's quite, not like blunt, but obviously she brings up her divorce kind of thing. She's quite like,
I don't know, she's a math teacher, so I know she's a teacher, so she's
got that very teacher-esque
she's got that she's got that teacher-esque vibe about her. Particularly like the kind of not to sound stereotypical, but the kind of female teacher about it, where they push you, but they still sort of...
It's quite empowering.
Kind of care about you.
Tough love kind of thing.
Tough love, but as well, she's a teacher in math, which is, like, obviously it's quite a male-dominated sort of subject.
Yeah, especially with the mathletes thing.
But, which is reinforced by the mathletes being predominantly men, so when she says, it would be nice to have a girl on the team, it was kind of half for her own agenda, so that she can have a say in like, oh, well, I made it so that there was a girl on the team. I made that diversity. But
and also that whole thing of where like it'd be nice for the boys to actually meet a girl for once, kind of thing. It's like throughout the film
like a subtle dig, but it's funny. And I do like it.
But I like the fact that, like, especially with the mathletes thing, because this is technically Katie's real side finally shining through, especially through maths and this, because it's at the mathletes thing of where the group they go up against, it's 4 people, i.e. her and 3 boys, and then on the other team,
it's also 3 boys and a girl as well,
kind of thing. I love the great reveal of the judge.
It was Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, it was actually a really good. I mean, spoils obviously, but
and I love the little irony.
It's that whole like, oh, this has only happened once before, and it's like, oh, the irony in a sense of it. Again, Stupid with Love plays, but it's the reprised version. I kind of liked, even though I've ripped on it so far throughout, this version of it being the band and like going back to prom kind of thing, the band version of it. It's like, I didn't hate it, but it's too small a song to really care. In the reprised version.
It wasn't really that deep.
Again,
I forgot, so fast forward, they win the competition very slowly, and then from there it's...
But even then, isn't it also in that bit, because she has to go up against, it's like the tie thing, like we were saying.
She goes up against the girl.
And again, it's enforcing, like we've said before, about the feminism.
Like the toxic feminism, because I think I can't remember what Katie says to her, but then
she just says hi, I think, or anything like that, and she's just like, whatever slut.
Whatever. Yeah, like she was very quick to brush that off immediately. Once I get it's a competition, but like I think that kind of extra bitch wasn't exactly needed.
But I think that, I mean, it's important in that moment because it is the epiphany of like, why are we fighting with each other? The only competition it is a math competition. It's not a competition female-wise kind of thing. Nice epiphany moment.
It was a nice epiphany. I think in all 3 movies it stays the same. There wasn't too many changes, and it was nice. I quite liked it.
It's her big like apologetic kind of thing after that, because now that she's had that epiphany thing, when she goes to the prom and like, I know I've mentioned it before, Aaron kind of thing. In the musical, it's a little bit differently done, but I'm glad that they did it in the sense of where she still apologizes on stage because she wins prom queen, obviously. It's nice because they have that like reflective moment with Regina, the vulnerability, but then
it's the bit of where she like breaks the crown as well. To be honest, it pained me in all 3 versions when she broke the crown. Like, I get it, but it
my one thing is, I do like the fact that they did the exact shot though.
Yeah.
From the original, they did it with this new version as well, the low down camera angle.
Yeah, no, I like that. And then you've got the bit where the girl that doesn't go here is performing, and then Damien's like, that's so cute. But she still does not go here.
Yeah.
I think that's the only reprise that I actually remembered. Because it wasn't in any of the other films. It was just in the new version.
They hammed up that joke and made it a little bit
funnier.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Overall, I mean, out of 10, how would you rate the new
The
film?
new one. Out of 10, I would have to give it I'm going to give it a 5.5.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I'd give it 5, closer to a 4 kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of my vibe. Compared to the original Mean Girls, that gets I mean, I know it's timely based, but that gets a good 8.
Yeah, 8, 9 out of 10. It's iconic film. Broadway version?
Oh, Broadway version. I don't know. I'm comparing it more musical wise because I do prefer other musicals over it.
Yeah.
I do give it kind of a 7.
Okay.
What about you? I mean, you've not really got much going on.
I've watched 1 or 2, so out of the ones I've watched, I guess I'd rank it up there too. So maybe as a musical, I would say maybe 6.5.
Okay.
To 7.
Would you say ranking we're both in kind of agreement? It goes the original film, the musical, and then
the
in
movie
third
musical.
place.
So so I guess chronological order when you think about it.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I would rate it.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But that concludes the end of this episode.
Yeah. This has been Darkroom Duo. We hope you enjoyed this podcast, and good night.
Or morning, depending on when you're watching this.
Very nice.